Agriculture Minister pleased with progress of imported banana plantlets. Over $4 million approved for road rehabilitation in Plaine constituency. And the GIS Dominica's Children's Federation joins the fight against Zika. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Kerdisha St. Louis.
And I'm Kimani. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after the break.
Destroying mosquito breeding sites. The Aedes aegypti mosquito that causes dengue fever, chikungunya and Zika lives in and around homes and places where people gather. Check your premises on a weekly basis for any collection of water, inside and outside, that may encourage breeding of mosquitoes. Here's a checklist to help you search and destroy mosquito breeding sites. Empty or cover up all water containers, especially plastic buckets and drums. Clean up discarded containers, plastic bags and coconut shells. Get rid of tires or use them to plant flowers. Empty and clean containers used by pets. Throw away water in plant saucers and dish drainers. Use wet sand in flower vases instead of water. Clean your roof gutters and drains. Spread oil on pools of water. Cover and seal septic tanks, soakaways and water storage tanks. Fill concrete block holes with sand or concrete. Ensure all manholes are properly sealed. Ensure that all drum covers fit securely. Punch holes in cans before disposing. Help keep Dominica clean and healthy. Stop breeding mosquito today. Keep Zika away.
Welcome back. Over $4 million has been approved for road rehabilitation in the Plaine constituency. Following Tropical Storm Erica, the southeast of the island was subject to the challenges accompanying damaged road infrastructure. The Honorable Member of Parliament for the Plaine constituency, Peter Seja, made the announcement at a press conference last Friday.
I am pleased to announce that having completed the Bwetika Bridge crossing, which created access to the residents of Bwetika and Delis, that the Prime Minister and Minister for Finance and the Cabinet of Dominica have approved a $4.6 million package for rehabilitation works in the Delis-Bwetika area. This 4.6 million EC dollars will address all of the compromised areas between La Ronde and Point Nulat. Of particular interest is works that will be done in the upper La Ronde area addressing road realignment.
The Plaine MP also informed that work will be undertaken in the Wavin Rush area in Bwetika, where a massive rock slide has damaged the road.
Additionally, works will be done at the foot of Mon Magic in Delis, Victoria Delis, and importantly, the Victoria Bridge crossing, costing in excess of $1 million, will be put in place.
$40,000 has also been approved for work on a bypass road in the vicinity of the La Roche Catholic Church to restore access to the Victoria end of Delis. A number of other projects are also currently underway in Plaine.
One in Casgori, Plaine, where we are now putting down slipper drains to the entire roadway in Casgori. The Balizier, Lower Balizier area, where again we are addressing the issue of slipper drains to roughly 500 feet of roads and extension of a culvert crossing, and the completion of the Lower Ghetto Link Road.
The West Dominica Children's Federation, a small non-profit organization working with Child Fund Caribbean as an implementing partner, has donated 150 bed nets to the maternity ward of the Princess Margaret Hospital. The nets were donated at a handing over ceremony at the Ministry of Health conference room on Friday. Coordinator of the West Dominica Children's Federation, Beverly Barron, said that they are happy to join hands with the Ministry of Health in the fight against the Zika virus.
We were able to spend over $5,000 on the nets, and at first we had already distributed some to Kolibistri and some persons in Maho. However, with the partnership with the Ministry of Health, we were given this new way that we could use it, one of them being directly giving it to the maternity ward at the hospital and to other pregnant expecting mothers and also infants, the unborn child. So the focus is still on children because we work with children and for children and advocate very strongly for children.
Barron says the West Dominica Children's Federation has always been part of the efforts to clean up the environment and has spent in excess of $40,000 towards the trucking of garbage and a cleanup campaign in Grand Bay last year. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Helen Roye, thanked the West Dominica Children's Federation for what she calls a timely donation.
I am delighted on behalf of the Ministry of Health and the Environment and by extension the Government of Dominica to receive this substantive donation of 150 nets by this foundation. We always value these kinds of partnerships. Humanitarian efforts are always highly appreciated as it represents a commitment to support the vulnerable host population, and it also signals an understanding of needs created as a result of threats. This donation can go a long way in improving the quality of life for our people, and this is very encouraging. For us in the Ministry of Health and the Environment, this is a very timely donation with the threat of Zika, which has been a global issue for some time.
Roy encouraged other agencies to emulate these activities and join the fight against Zika.
In 2015, the government of Dominica imported over 40,000 banana plantlets to revitalize the banana sector, which was dealt a severe blow by the black Sikatoka disease. Plantlets were distributed to over 40 farmers in Kerdisha and Castle Bruce. GIS visited the farmers of Castle Bruce, and Kimani Seja brings us this report.
Minister for Agriculture and Member of Parliament for the Castle Bruce constituency, Johnson Drago, is pleased that the banana and plantain subsectors in Dominica's agriculture industry are thriving. Last week, the Honorable Minister took GIS on a tour of his constituency where 14 farmers were recipients of tissue culture banana plantlets sourced from France in 2015. These farmers, selected based on past production and their interest in the program, are conducting the pilot project for the revitalization of the banana industry under the Banana Accompanying Measures program. The Honorable Minister is elated that the plantlets are doing exceptionally well.
When we decided to revitalize the sector, we came under tremendous criticism by the naysayers. For some people, it was a total failure. But we knew what mission we were on. And I, in my capacity as Minister of Agriculture, decided to dedicate as much time as possible to ensuring that we succeeded. And today we are here in Castle Bruce looking at lovely bunches of bananas, well-sleeved, and we're listening to farmers who are highly motivated. We listen to farmers who have never left bananas, and we got the success story of farmers. And I want to say to the Dominican community that the banana subsector is on the rise.
When we arrived at the farm of Juliana Wiltshire, one of the 2 women involved in the project, her hard work was obvious in the quality of the plants on her field. She has been able to keep her trees disease-free, and her bunches are sizable.
I had bananas already, had bananas here, had bananas on the other side. But because of the black Zika, I had to ask them to destroy the field, you know, destroy the field. And then when they came with this program, because I like farming, I like doing bananas, I entered the program.
This proud female farmer works from sunup to sundown, and she says working the field has been rewarding financially. She speaks about her work ethic and her love for bananas.
Because of the love I have for my farm, I will work maybe from 6, and then I take a rest about 12, 1, I take a rest, and then I come again. And the inputs, you're supposed to give the bananas the input at the correct time. So when I come in the morning, if I have my inputs to give, first thing I do is apply. And you have to be there all the time. The bananas will like you for that.
She credits her success so far to the support she has received from her extension officer. Augustus Prevost has lived out of Dominica for over 40 years. On his return to the island, he saw agriculture as the best business for his livelihood and the best way to contribute to his country's economy.
I have about 3-4 acres of dashing plant right now. I have about 800 banana plants down here, which is 700 plants from the BAM tissue culture area, and I'm putting regular bananas in between. And I'm hoping to do a lot more because I have the acreage, I have the place I could do it.
This young farmer, Curtis Daniel, is very grateful for the opportunity afforded by this program. He has 1 acre and says his dream is to expand until he has at least 4 acres planted.
I feel very glad for, I just say my first thing is Mr. Skerrit putting back up that program, and my power rep, Mr. Jono, and my officers, taking care of the family for me. So I feel so happy, and I say thank you for all the being farm today and all the scene I push in.
This even younger farmer, Steve George, is a school teacher, but farming, he says, is his passion. This was how he was raised. He is one of 2 farmers who planted 2 acres in Castle Bruce.
Farming has always been a love of mine. Like I said, I basically raised up in a home where farming was the main source of income, in that my parents were not educated to have a government job. So farming was the most practical thing at the time. Teaching allows the time to farm as well as to teach. So after, when I'm coming from school, then I could go to my farm and do something, or even prior to going to school, I sometimes come on the farms.
George has high praise for this initiative by government to stabilize the banana industry. He has a first degree in agriculture and is truly an inspiration to other young aspiring farmers.
I think it's a very good initiative. When you look at it from an employment standpoint, it will provide opportunities for young persons like myself to begin fully employed. Those of us who have lands or access to lands could do something.
George Johnfin also has planted 2 acres of plantlets in Castle Bruce. This means 1,400 plants, and he also is doing well. This farmer was able to maintain 1.5 acres of traditional bananas in the midst of the black Zika infestation. This farmer is positive that the banana subsector is the backbone of the agriculture industry, and he credits his good fortune to the trade.
I think banana might leave me, but I wouldn't leave it. No. Maybe when I get old I can do it. That's it. But to say to leave it now, no man, I'm staying in my banana. I built my house on banana. I bought how much now? 1, 2. I bought about 8 chunks worth. On bananas. On banana alone. Banana alone. I never worked nowhere. My banana alone. Build my house on banana. Yeah, for sure. Imagine my youth going to university is me helping her on my banana. Yeah.
Overall, those tasked with overseeing the project are pleased with the outcome so far. Farmers in this constituency have proven that these plants are a savior to the industry.
There are about 65 acres all over the island. 2 batches of bananas were distributed. The farms we visited were the farmers who received plants on the first batch, and as you can see that they're already bunching, and the farmers are very, very excited about that. In addition to providing them with the plants which came off island from the tissue culture, we also providing them with all the necessary inputs, fertilizer, diaphane, twine, and also training and the necessary technical support.
Well, the farmers have done some great work. I think every farmer who is involved recognize the importance of the banana industry to the overall economic development of the state, and therefore they have put a lot of effort into really growing the bananas as a result of the tissue culture project.
And the Honorable Minister assured that once there is a harvest, there will be a sure market for the fruits on the regional market, and plans for the international market are underway.
The regional market demands the same quality like we used to send to the European markets. We are very much equal to the task, and eventually, by expanding, we will be able to go back to the European market. But our plan now is to sustain local consumption and to meet our demand at the regional level.
Kimani Seja for GIS News. Kerdisha, I must say it was a very interesting experience being in Casabros last week and visiting the farms of so many different farmers and seeing how they're doing with the plantlets, and they're doing so well. And the Agriculture Minister is very excited that the banana industry is actually being revitalized with that initiative. And I spoke particularly to that young farmer, Steve George, who is also a school teacher, and he's doing so well. And you know, he sees the industry as having so much potential for young people especially, but only if they were to be innovative and adapt, you know, new ways of growing crops and new ways of doing agriculture, you know, to make it viable for them.
You know, Kimani, that's so true. And when you talk about initiative, what comes to mind is the recent BAM workshop that was held in Ansdeme for farmers. You know, it featured a lot of the new ways and measures of doing things within the banana sector. Agriculture has come a long way. There are a lot of new methods that can be implemented, and there were a lot of young farmers at that event also. What again comes to mind is the Penville Young Farmers Group that was recently, you know, conceptualized by the Prime Minister, Mr. Roosevelt Skerrit, and what basically what it was a push, I would say, a push for the farmers of Penville to get their farms going. It wasn't necessarily, you know, just banana, it was different crops. But what we are seeing is a lot of investment coming from government towards our young farmers.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, the Prime Minister is very passionate about agriculture.
That's right.
The last budget, the lion's share, as we would say, of the budget went to agriculture. And even when the Prime Minister himself speaks, you get that sense of, you know, agriculture is what he believes can move this country forward.
That's right.
He himself being Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, he speaks about his own work in agriculture, having his own farm, you know, and producing different crops and selling. He's very passionate about Dominicans supporting local farmers, you know, having backyard gardens. So he's very much into agriculture, and you know, it's really an exciting thing to see our banana sector being revitalized. And there's also plans for the revitalization of the plantain subsector, and pretty soon, just as plantlets for bananas were imported, there's also going to be importation of plantain. So we're seeing, you know, that part of the agriculture industry being revitalized, and it's an exciting thing.
It is. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture, IICA, has decided to address 3 major constraints impacting the agriculture health and food safety systems in the region. These constraints are outdated legislative framework, fragmentation among agencies responsible for agriculture health and food safety matters, and the limited capacity of public and private sector to meet the sanitary and phytosanitary regime. Measures to rectify these issues are ongoing.
During the past year, technical actions under the SPS project has resulted in the drafting and revising of 4 model bills, which forms the basic of a regionally harmonized regional legislative framework for plants and animal health, food safety, and fisheries. The strengthening of the 3 regional agricultural health and food safety groups, such as CARBVET, in addition to the regional agency, CAFSA. These groups are agencies seek to coordinate SPS matters in the region and advance the prioritized program of work of agricultural health and food safety. A 50% increase in the representation of CARIFORUM countries at international agricultural health and food safety meetings, and the capacity building of over 300 public and private sector stakeholders in key agricultural health and food safety areas, important for complying with SPS regimes.
The workshop was supported under the 10th European Development Fund, EDF, Sanitary and Phytosanitary Project on sanitary and phytosanitary measures, which is one component of the 10th EDF program.
The SPS Component 6 to assist CARIFORUM states to gain and improve market access by complying with European sanitary and phytosanitary measures and to develop or strengthen regionally harmonized SPS measures. The specific objective of the SPS project is to increase production and trade in agriculture and fisheries which meets international standards whilst protecting plants, animal, human health and the environment. The project is being implemented by ICA in collaboration with partners, which includes CARICOM Secretariat, Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, that's the CRFM, and the SPS Committee of the Dominican Republic. The CARIFORUM states are the beneficiaries of the project activities. The project is a 42-month action valued at euro 11.7 million, and the project is deemed to end in March 2017.
Coppell says it is clear that poultry is very important to the Caribbean.
Poultry production is an important contributor to the livelihood of thousands of people in the Caribbean, and poultry meat is the most consumed meat in all the countries. The socio-economic consequences of an outbreak of avian influenza in the Caribbean could be serious and impact on our food and nutrition security, and that could be grave.
And that's news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with Creole Highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ministre de l'Éducation, Honorable Peter Saint-Jean, a condamné parole opposition qui concerne Citizenship by Investment Program. Ministre Saint-Jean fait parole qui, même si l'opposition a critiqué le programme là, est bien en WEG et puis il a bénéficié en l'eau monde en Dominique.
Là, nous regardons parole qui nous attend opposition a fait contre programme là qui nous a créé CBI, ça c'est Citizenship by Investment. Moi qui qui m'ont obligé faire quelque chose en ça. Moi voulais dire premièrement que gouvernement Labour Party en bas Dr. Roosevelt Skerritt a fait tout bitin possible pour faire assurer que programme CBI qui il faut et aussi qui c'est un programme qui ça double et qui nous a trouvé ici en Dominique moun qui ni bon caractère pour faire investissement en secteur hôtel et tourisme. Programme ça là, Citizen by Investment, il a continué pour jouer un grand pas en développement économie pays là. Et aussitôt, en ces jours-là, ça après cyclone Erika. Gouvernement ça là, a toujours metté en l'eau en tension, en les éduquer peuple Dominique. Et programme Citizen by Investment qu'a bénéficié jeunes moun qui voulaient éduquer koyo à différentes universités, qui c'est oui, State College, ou bien université en région là, ou l'autre pays.
À la nouvelle, ministre de la Santé, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, qui a concerné les femmes qui sont enceintes et puis ça qui est lié pour prendre précaution et puis Zika. Moun à l'âge aussi et puis public là en général, c'est besoin de garde.
Mais comme ministre santé Dominique, moi voulais caution mon pour des monde qui en lâche là, monde qui enceinte, avec monde qui en lâche, monde qui a pensé faire enfants, que yoni pour extra précaution pour picture your protect koyo. Parce que même si moi voulais dire ça pour record là que WHO qui c'est nous ça c'est organisation de monde pour affaires santé. Yo ja établi yo voulait dire tout que ça yo ka di relation at Zika virus et microcéphalie ça c'est les enfants avec petite tête c'est pas bitin qui ja documenté scientifically yo pourquoi ouais comment Zika virus la ka affecté ça yo ka base ça en place yo ouais qui teni ça ne ka outbreak Zika yo ouais an increase en enfants qui ni petite tête enfants fait de petite tête mais yo pourquoi établir comment Zika ka fait il pas ni pièce scientific evidence pour dire well Zika virus là ka produce c'est fait ça nous ka dit en santé secteur tout le monde là c'est better be safe than sorry et puis tout nous aller à sur assumption que oui Zika virus là ka cause microcéphalie pour toute précaution pour protéger nous juste yo ça établir même scientific evidence là pour dire well Zika virus là pour voir ka cause ça ça m'a fait comme clair que yo pourquoi établir comment virus là ka cause ça mais ça yo ja ouais yo aller au Brésil yo aller dans des pays africains là dans des pays moko Easter Island ça c'est un pays où am caution c'est country South America et ben ça yo ouais que la Zika virus là teni outbreak là yo ouais increase en enfants qui fait ça nous créer petite tête ben vous savez les enfants fait petite tête qui ont toutes les autres complications ça nous créer nous pas parler de retardation c'est l'autre mot physical et mental impairment c'est bien ça là so même si yo pas établir ces relations nous voulons dire tout le monde qui prend précaution et ben nous
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est toute pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day.
Your creativity will definitely be boosted when you learn to go easy on yourself. Stop criticizing yourself and stop being so harsh to yourself.
Accept yourself the way you are and do things to the best of your ability. You are enough and you are creative. Don't let self-limited beliefs block out your creativity. Remove the barriers and the ideas will begin to flow. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kimani
and I'm Kerdisha. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.